Now, earlier I spoke to Peter Shiao, the founder and CEO of ORB Media Group, about the booming box office receipts in China. I asked him if the domination of foreign films in China is a trend that would continue to grow.
Keep in mind that the movies that succeed in China basically succeed everywhere around the world, and this is the cream of the crop. 20, 30 films that out of the hundreds that Hollywood produces that are successful. So they do succeed all over the world, including China. But I think too much of a point is being put on what's succeeding that's not from China and what it's succeeding from outside of China. But the reality is the Chinese market is growing very robustly. And all things equal, I think Chinese audiences will prefer to see things that are more locally relevant. And with the success of, Lost in Thailand and Jackie Chan's new movie, we're showing that, Chinese moviegoers like things that are locally relevant, of a scale, with production value, the special effects, good storytelling, those kind of things.
Right, you expect that in the coming years that ratio will change. Chinese moviegoers will prefer to watch locally produced movies rather than those imports from the United States.
And keep in mind, there's also a very, very big move to collaborate, which is kind of where people like me come in. And that there's going to be a fusion kind of a movie, which is going to be co-produced. So these kind of movies will have Hollywood attributes and also local attributes. And actors, directors, scriptwriters, technicians, and movie investors will be working alongside each other from China and from the US. So it's kind of a new globalized product that's more locally relevant. So I suspect those kind of movies are going to be quite successful in the years to come.
When we look at these co-productions, I mean, we now have the very big Hollywood studio, DreamWorks. They've gone into a joint venture in China, and that is going to be called Oriental DreamWorks. Do you
Oriental DreamWorks.
That's right. Do you know of more companies that are looking at co-productions in China, and is that the way forward?
Absolutely. One of the biggest Hollywood companies behind things like Batman and Batman Returns and the Hangover franchises, Legendary. It's also created a company called Legendary East. And in talking to the various studios and their senior executives, I think China is really showing up on their radar as the most relevant marketplace. So I think that is not only a trend, it's an indication of where everything is going, and it's not going away.
What kind of incentives are there in China for Chinese movie makers?
Well, right now the biggest incentive is basically the market size is growing, and incentives are also doled out on a local basis, or they're given grants, they're given different awards, there are different kinds of support. There's probably too many to mention for this interview, but I think the biggest incentive right now is that the market is growing very, very quickly, so there's a high demand for entertainment, and that's probably the best incentive ever.
Okay, Peter, thanks for joining us.
You got it.